Dog's incredible transformation from looking like a bag of bones with rotting flesh. When Nicola Oust stumbled upon a neglected dog trapped in a crate in a field, little did she know that he would become a rescue project that would turn her life around. As part of A Dog is for Life, Not Just for Lockdown, Notebook Magazine's campaign with the Dog's Trust, Nicola tells the harrowing story of how she saved the life of her beautiful dog Buddy. It was 27th of April 2009 when my friend Sally and I decided to take a trip to view a foal she had seen for sale on the internet. Sally ran a stables with her husband Rob in Leicestershire, where I'd spent much of my teenage years living and working with horses. It was a bit of a mission to drive down the M1 in the pouring rain. We had to then weave through tiny B-roads and muddy lanes to see this foal, but Sally was the type of person who would go above and beyond to give an animal a loving new home. When we arrived at the address, we both had a funny feeling in the pit of our stomachs. It was clear it was not a proper paddock. It was the grimmest, scariest place I'd ever been to. Two shady-looking men came out and showed us the 6-month foal. I was horrified to see it looked half-starved and riddled with worms. There wasn't just one, but 2 of them. We quickly handed over the cash and coaxed the nervous foals into our trailer. Just as we were about to leave, I spotted an animal wedged into the back of a rusty metal crate. I crept closer to see whether it was even alive. The poor creature, squashed inside a cat carrier, was breathing faintly. His sad eyes were just slits in his bony, bruised face. It looked as if trying to keep them open was causing him intense pain. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. His fur had worn away, showing his paper-thin skin over his bony rib cage and face. His mottled flesh looked like it had been clawed at, and he was barely alive. This poor dog had been trapped in his own waste and had obviously had no food or water for days. But what really hit me was the horrendous smell, a combination of rotting flesh and feces. His little paw pads were burnt and red from standing in his own urine. It was unbelievably sad. I didn't think twice about rescuing him. I swaddled him in a towel and took him back to our 4x4. His legs buckled from underneath him as I carefully placed him on my knee. On closer inspection, I could see he was covered in mange, a nasty infection caused by mites that burrow under the skin. I had to save this poor creature from these horrible people. "I've got you, Buddy," I said to him. The name stuck. We made a sharp exit from that hellhole. I knew exactly who to call when we got home. Ian, the local vet, who had tended to the horses at the stables for years. He examined him straight away. Sitting on the examining table in the veterinary practice, Buddy resembled a bag of bones. Ian confirmed that he was a Stratfordshire Bull Terrier, probably not even a year old. I watched over Buddy as Ian checked him out. You'd think he would be frightened of me and the environment, but I think he was relieved. The way he looked at me made me think he was grateful to be saved. The vet diagnosed him with demodectic mange. Because he'd been left in his own mess, he got secondary infections and his skin was rotting away. Armed with a bag of antibiotics and care instructions from Ian, I took Buddy home. The first night I bathed him gently in the kitchen sink. Then I didn't sleep a wink, constantly checking if he was breathing. It felt touch and go at times. We took everything slowly. I introduced small plates of chicken or scrambled egg to him so as to not upset his stomach, and gave him just enough exercise in between lots of sleep. If I'm honest, the Staffy breed hadn't always appealed to me. I had it in my head that they were aggressive dogs, but I couldn't be more wrong. He is the most loving, kind, and loyal dog I've ever come across. Over the following year, Buddy grew stronger and his infections cleared up. I made a point of socializing him even in puppyhood. He was my number 1 in life, and he soon won the hearts of those around me. At the stables, Sally's mummy Phyllis, who we called Gran, had a special bond with him. Instead of running around the fields playing with other dogs, he'd prefer to curl up on the sofa with Gran. When she was diagnosed with diabetes, he wouldn't leave her side until she had her insulin. He's very intuitive. When I came to finding myself a partner, it was a case of love me, love Buddy, and my horses too. I was lucky to meet John through work, and he took us on as a package. To find a man who was happy to love all of us meant the world. Of course, we had Buddy as a guest of honor at our wedding in 2013. He had a special outfit for the pictures. My great auntie, who has since passed away, made him a fancy collar to match my bridesmaids. Our life as a family of 3 was going smoothly until Buddy was diagnosed with cancer in March 2015. It happened the same year I went through 2 miscarriages. It was very traumatic at the time. In a way, him being ill shifted the focus away from me. I channeled any emotional energy I had on him getting better. And after numerous rounds of radiotherapy and chemotherapy, he made a recovery in October 2015. The following autumn, I fell pregnant with my son Toby, who is now 3. We have since had another baby, Harvey, 7 months. Before Toby arrived, we got another dog, a Springer Spaniel called Susie, who was rescued from a puppy farm where she was a breeding bitch for 3 years in a shed. I still haven't quite worked my magic on her. She can be nervous, whereas I can take Buddy anywhere and do anything. He's so well behaved. I feel like I have a lot to thank Buddy for. I've experienced so many things in my life because of him. We've been to dog shows like Crufts and won awards, met celebrities like Martin Clunes and Christine Lampard, and have a fantastic circle of friends we've met through Buddy, who we holiday with twice a year. Who would have thought that poor, neglected dog I first saw in the cage could have turned my life around for the better? Buddy has turned into quite the celebrity. As well as being popular in our neighborhood, he has 30,000 followers on Facebook, and I recently created an Instagram profile for him. Buddy's been a constant in my life for 11 years. No matter what the day brings, he's there for me. I don't know what I'll do when he's not around. I keep telling him he's got to live forever. Lockdown has been hard on all of us. We've all lived on top of one another. But Buddy's taught me resilience and strength, supporting me with a little raised ear and a comforting nuzzle. I couldn't love him more.